Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our 2020 Gold and Clover Classic show. We apologize for the late start. We're going to get going here in just a few minutes. We're going to start off with our dairy cows, and our first class is the junior heifer born December 1st, 2019 to February 28th, 2020 with Camden Firehelm of Classy Clovers. A couple announcements before we get going here. My first announcement is we don't have copies of the program, so I do apologize. However, there is a copy of the program located inside of the white display case on the south side of the arena. You are more than welcome to take a picture of that program. That way you have it there on your phone ready to go. We do also have a Plymouth County 4-H app, and that program is located on that app. And then we also have a Iowa State Extension Plymouth County Facebook page where you can find that program. We are live today, so the online version of this show is on those two platforms as well. So our 4-H app as well as our, I'm already forgetting, as well as the Facebook page. Exhibitors wanting to sign up for the ribbon auction can do so in a little bit. That will be located inside the beef barn. You can do that with Candace. She'll take a picture of you and your animal as well as your ribbons and trophies. That ribbon auction will be available on brockauctionco.com. Again, that's brockauctionco.com. We also have a bench inside the beef barn, and that bench, we would like exhibitors to sign it, and we will also be auctioning off that bench on brockauctionco.com. All right, let's go ahead and bring out Camden Firehelm into the arena, please. Camden has our junior heifer calf born December 1st, 2019 to February 28th, 2020. I'd like to do first call for our senior yearling heifer. Our judge for today is Fred Hall. Fred is from Fort Dodge, Iowa originally. He is the dairy specialist for Western Iowa Extension. He is also an Iowa State University grad, and he currently breeds milking shorthorns. Please give Fred a big round of applause for being with us this afternoon. Second call for our senior yearling heifer. Second call for our senior yearling heifer.
Good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate the opportunity to come in and evaluate the young people's animals. On these single entry classes, it's hard for us to make comparisons. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things I like about the heifer, and then maybe mention the thing I'd like to change about it. First thing, I like the strength and power of the heifer. She's got a lot of substance. What I'd like to change is I'd like to clean her up over the hips and pins, down the seat of the pants, and then sharpen that shoulder up. Even though we're growing heifers, and I understand you got to put energy in to make them grow, when we're in the show ring, we're looking for that clean-cut, feminine look about her, especially in the neck and over the shoulder. This heifer just doesn't display that for me today. She will be a blue ribbon heifer.
In our junior heifer calf class, Camden Firehelm receives first place. Our next class is our senior yearling heifer class, born between September 1st, 2018 and February 28th, 2019. In this class, we have Camden Firehelm. First call for our 3-year cow and older. First call for our 3-year cow and older. Second call for our 3-year cow and older. Second call for our 3-year cow and older.
Again, a single animal in the class. Very powerful heifer that has a lot of substance. What I really like about this heifer is how she moves on those rear legs. She travels straight forward, she covers her track, she's got good distance between the rear legs, got the right set to her. You know, I think that's the high point of the heifer. Again, if I could redesign her, I'd want to clean up those shoulders and refine that neck and under her jawline there. But easily a blue ribbon heifer, or a purple ribbon heifer.
First place in our senior yearling heifer class is Camden Firehelm of Classy Clovers. Our next class is our 3-year cow and older, born before September 1st, 2017. In this class, we have 2 entries from Kendra Erickson of Akron Westfield FFA. After this class, the judge will select his champion dairy cow. After this class, the judge will select his champion dairy cow. I just received information that Godfather's Pizza is open until 5 o'clock. Godfather's is open until 5 o'clock. Last I knew, the Boy Scout booth was still open. I believe they still are. Boy Scouts were selling taco in a bag, Gatorade, water, Bomb Pops, and Nutty Bars.
Let's give these young people a round of applause bringing out quality cows like this. When we're looking at a class that has a lot of age variation, we've got a third calf cow and a seventh calf cow. So in my mind, I really like the way that black cow has matured. She's tall, she's long, she's angular, she's got that depth of rib, and that udder is still up above the hock. Now, it's not perfect. I'd like to change the forudder attachment, but when you watch that cow walk away from you, you've got to appreciate that rear udder. It's got the height and the width that you really want that builds volume into a cow without it going deep. And the udder is probably the thing that gives her the decided advantage for today's placing.
Congratulations to Kendra Erickson, receiving first place with her 3-year cow and older. Also receiving second place, Kendra Erickson in the 3-year cow and older class. Kendra Erickson is representing Akron Westfield FFA. If we could have our previous class winners out next, the judge is going to select his champion dairy cow. So again, if you had a winner from one of the previous classes, please bring that animal out for the judge to select his champion dairy cow. Okay, we can go ahead and bring all 4 of those animals back out. So the 2 animals from the 3-year cow and older class, the 1 individual from the senior yearling, and then the 1 individual from the junior heifer class. Let's go ahead and bring all 4 out, please. After the selection of our champion dairy cow, we're going to move into our goat program. Our first class in our goat program is our doe kid under 3 months class. If you are in our first class of the dairy goat program, you are on deck. I apologize. We are going to do showmanship with our dairy cattle after this. So after the judge selects his champion dairy cow, we will do senior and intermediate showmanship. And then we'll move into bottle goats after that. Senior showmanship will be individuals in grades 10 through 12. Again, that senior showmanship will be individuals in grades 10 through 12. And then intermediate showmanship will be individuals in grades 7 through 9. So individuals in grades 7 through 9 is intermediate showmanship.
I don't think there should be any question that this big, tall, uphill cow comes to the head of the class for championship. You love the style and balance about her. When you stand behind her, you've got to love that width and uniform height in that mammary system. A cow that's done everything we want. She's had calves and she's been in the production line. She's an easy choice for me for grand champion. I talked with the young people showing the heifers, and you know, heifers change a lot once they milk. So, you know, the criticism of them being a little heavy and not quite being angular enough, when they come back next year as cows, that may be a different song that I'll sing. But today, I'm following the cow for reserve, the big white cow that follows the same pattern. Just come out here, young man. She's clean, she's dairy, she's refined, and she's got that deep rib, just like our cow that we made grand. So let's give these young people a round of applause.
Congratulations to Kendra Erickson of Akron Westfield FFA. Kendra is receiving Grand Champion Dairy Cow and Reserve Champion Dairy Cow. Congratulations, Kendra. The Champion Dairy Cow and Reserve Champion Dairy Cow trophies were sponsored by Plymouth Dairy Farms and Rich and Betty Benson. We're going to do senior showmanship next, so any individuals in grades 10 through 12 can come on out into the arena, please. Again, senior showmanship, individuals in grades 10 through 12. After senior showmanship, we will do intermediate showmanship. Intermediate showmanship will be for individuals in grades 7 through 9. 7 through 9.
It's always a little disheartening when you have a showmanship class of one. You know, it's hard to make them work and understand the nuances. You know, showmanship truly, you're working to make them make a mistake. And it really makes no sense when there's just one. I talked with a young lady. I like the smile, the poise she has when she brings that animal out. I like a lot of the things. I talked about two things for sure that as she shows at the next show that I'd like to see different. I'm a safety guy, and when you've got the halter that far down on the nose, those cows get a lot of leverage on you. If you could bring that up two notches, bring it up 1.5 inches there on her face, you'd have a lot more control. And when you've got a 1,780-pound cow and a young lady who's a tenth or less of that, control's really important. The other thing, you know, that I mentioned is one of the things that really pops for femininity and angularity is where that jawline and neck meet. And when she's got me in front of her cow, if she can just reach on the side there by the jaw and pull up some of that Fred Hall disease, man, that heifer trims up, that cow trims up a lot. So, you know, those are the two things I commented. I would give a comment to everybody who showed. The dairy show is steeped in a lot of tradition. And one of the big things is white breeches. Now, I know that we don't enforce that and don't ask for that, but I'll give you just a bit of a history lesson. When exhibiting cattle started, dairymen wore white smocks. And if you go to Europe, there's still some shows that require that white smock. And when we started showing cattle in this country, we eliminated the smock and went with the white breeches. And if you go to a bigger show, if you go to World Dairy Expo or Louisville or the Royal, you will not be allowed in the ring without white breeches. So that's something to think about. If you're really excited about showing dairy cattle, that'll be an investment you'll need to do. Let's give this young lady a round of applause.
Congratulations to Kendra Erickson, our senior showman. That trophy is, yeah, we can give her a round of applause. That trophy is sponsored by Wells Enterprises. Next, we're going to have our intermediate showman. If you are in grades 7 through 9, you're welcome to come into the ring now. Again, our intermediate showmanship, grades 7 through 9. After intermediate showmanship, we'll be moving into bottle goats. Okay, so bottle goats are on deck after intermediate showmanship. Second call for bottle lambs. Second call for bottle lambs.
Okay, let's give this young man a round of applause. You know, every cow has a different personality. And I think back to my first time to town, I probably acted the same way this heifer is. Threw my head just a little bit, and maybe had a casual disregard for what everybody wanted me to do. And I think this young man really tries to keep her head straight, keep it up, the perfect level on this heifer, I believe, is those eyes just above the top line. Again, she's a heifer that really needs to have some throat pulled on the side of her head. That would trim her up a lot. And then position that halter a little higher on the face so you have more control on her. But thank you for working with me, young man.
Congratulations to Camden Firehelm of Classy Clovers for being our intermediate showman. The Champion Intermediate Showman Trophy is sponsored by Wells Enterprises. All right, we're gonna move into our GOAT program next. As long as I'm not forgetting anything, we're gonna start with the bottle goats first. Just a reminder that if you are interested in looking at the program for today's show, that program is visible in the white display case on the south end of the arena. You can take a picture of that program, that way you have it on your phone, and you can view it throughout the show. We also have that program visible on our 4-H, Plymouth County 4-H app, as well as our Iowa State Extension Plymouth County Facebook page. Again, so go ahead, if you have bottle goats, you can bring your bottle goats into the arena. This is first call for the Doe Kid under 3 months class. First call for Doe Kids under 3 months. So I would like to give Fred Hall, our dairy cattle judge, a big round of applause. I didn't realize he wasn't judging the goats, so we really do appreciate his time with us this afternoon with the dairy cows. So please give Fred Hall a big round of applause.
Alaska, how are you? This is Alaska Moon, and we're just going to ask Alaska a few questions about her goat. Does your goat have a name?
Donnie.
Donnie the goat. How did you come up with Donnie? Just liked it? Yeah, I like it too. I think it's a cute name for a goat. And do you know what kind of goat this is?
It's a fainting goat.
It is a fainting goat. And do you know why they faint?
They're scared.
Because they get scared and then they fall down. But then they pop right back up, don't they? Yeah, they're kind of fun. And who got you this goat?
My grandma.
Your grandma got you this goat. Now, did Mom know Grandma was going to buy you a goat? So it was okay? It wasn't like she just dropped it at the doorstep? No. Now, what do you feed Donnie?
Do you feed it hay? I feed it hay and milk.
And is it your pet?
Yes.
Well, I think he's great. And do you wash him? Do you wash him like a puppy dog, or
Yes.
you give him baths and stuff? Well, I think he is adorable. Thank you for bringing Donnie today. Thank you very much. Let's have a round of applause for Alaska Moon and her little goat, her fainting goat. Okay, who else do we have here? Here's a ribbon for you. Thanks for bringing him today. He's adorable. Who do you want next? Who wants to go next?
Let's
do you want
give
to go
Alaska
next,
the papers
Mason?
back.
Mason? Mason?
Oh,
Awesome.
you might want to keep the clipboard.
Thank you. Come on over here, Mason. Oh my gosh, this is kind of a big goat. Okay, you come over here and turn around. This is Mason Bailey. And where did you get your goat?
From my grandma and grandpa.
These are awesome grandma and grandpas, aren't they? Awesome. What kind of goat is that?
Alpine, I think.
An alpine goat. And where do you keep your alpine goat?
In like sometimes in like a shed and in a dog kennel.
In a dog kennel. Well, that's about the size of my dog. So, and what's your goat's name?
Midnight.
Midnight. And what do you feed Midnight?
Like goat.
Paper? Look.
Oh.
We don't feed him paper, do we? Does he get in the garden at all? No. Not at all? Yeah. Do you have a lot of goats at home?
We had like another. We had two.
Yeah.
But we decided to.
Just to bring that one, but he's got a friend at home, huh? Well, I think he's an awesome goat. And do you do a lot of work with him? Do you wash him?
I did like I think a couple days ago.
To bring him to the fair. Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks for coming out today. We appreciate you bringing him. There you go. We come on over here, buddy. Who's our last one? Jeremiah. Let's see. Hi, how are you? Oh, he looks so cute. What kind of goat is he? Do you know?
White.
Yes. So what did you feed your goat for the first 6 weeks? You fed him goat milk. So from a bottle, so he's a bottle goat?
Pug goat.
Yes. Do you like him? What's his name?
Sunshine.
That's a great name for a goat. I think he's absolutely adorable with the tiny little baby ears. He doesn't have very big ears, does he? No, he's pretty cute. And do you feed the goat and do you wash him? Does he get a bath?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that kind of fun to give him a bath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where did you get your goat? Did your grandma give you your goat? Who gave you your goat? Yeah? That's awesome. Well, thank you for bringing your goat today. You did a great job. Here's a ribbon for you. Let's have a round of applause for all of our bottle goat kids.
Second call for our doe kid under 3 months. Second call for doe kids under 3 months. I'd like to welcome our judge for this afternoon for the Dairy Goat Show. Our judge is Rod Van Wyk. He is from Haywarden, Iowa. He raised goats for 40 years, and he actually ran a commercial dairy for 20 years and raised 120 head. So please welcome Rod Van Wyk. I'd also like to thank our superintendent, Dustin Norberg, and our assistant, Curtis Hoffman, for being here today. Dustin was helping wrangle that goat over there, so give Dustin a big round of applause, and Curtis, too. All right, if you have a doe kid under 3 months, please bring your doe kid out. This is first call for the doe kid 3 to 6 months class. First call for doe kids 3 to 6 months. This is another reminder that we do have a couple food vendors open currently. We have Godfather's Pizza open until 5 p.m. I do believe that the Boy Scout booth is also open, and they have taco on a boat, nutty bars, water, Gatorade. And then exhibitors, if you are wanting to sign up for the ribbon auction, remember that you can do so just inside the beef barn there with Candace. You'll get your picture taken with your animal, so please make sure you bring your animal with you, and any ribbons and trophies that you might have. The ribbon auction will be on brockauctionco.com. Again, that's brockauctionco.com. Second call for class 2, doe kids 3 to 6 months.
Okay, we're going to place these kids as they came in the ring. There's not as much difference in their ages as size might indicate. So we're going to place our La Mancha type kid first over the Nubian kid. Based on body capacity, the doe at the head of the line is sounder on feet and legs, a little bit stronger in those rear pasterns, a bit more openness. and a more desirable degree of cover, and so 1/2.
Congratulations to Marcus Luch of Liberty Perry Pacers, placing first in our class of Doe Kids under 3 months, and second place goes to Jaden Birkenpaz of Grant Little Giants. Our next class is our Doe Kid class, ages 3 to 6 months. In this class, we have Kale Bailey, Ashley Johnson, Tate Linton, Hunter Norberg, and Sarah Scotus. This is first call for Doe Kids 6 months to under 12 months. First call for Class 3 Doe Kids 6 months to under 12 months. Second call for Class 3 Doe Kids 6 months to under 12 months. Second call for Class 3 Doe Kids 6 months to under 12 months.
Okay, a nice class of intermediate kids for our second class today. I spent a lot of time in this class looking at feet and legs and top lines. If you're familiar at all with the Dairy Goat scorecard, on a junior doe, general appearance is 55 of the 100 points, and of those 55 points, 25 are dedicated to feet and legs. And so I've got some wonderful growthy kids at the end of the line that just don't have the strength in feet and legs today to move them up ahead of some of these does that we have up here. 1/2, a switch that I made when I saw them on the move, and when you watch them on the move, the correctness of feet and legs is about the same, but the little brown doe at the head of the line holds herself together much better on the move. She's much more level across the top, especially over the rump. And that's the reason that I moved her to start this class. 2/3, a nice growthy kid. I'm going to say with the 4 Lamanches at the top of the class, they're very similar in feet and legs, so I had to look for other areas. The advantage that number 2 has in body capacity over number 3 is what put her there. 3/4, here again, watching them on the move, number 3, the doe kid in third place, is just a bit more level across the top line, especially again in the area of the rump. And that's the reason that she's standing ahead of the black and white La Mancha in fourth. The La Mancha in fourth over the Tog in fifth. Sharpness and angularity, just sharper in those withers, a little more correct again on those feet and legs, although the doe in fifth is pretty good too, but she's not quite as open in the escutcheon as what I'm seeing in the does ahead of her. The Toggenburg over the Nigerian dwarf. Here again, a feet and legs thing. In her turn, she's a bit more open than the Nigerian. The Nigerian over the Alpine, another switch that I made as they were on the move. She's just much more correct in the way she tracks out and the way she carries herself, more level over the top line than the Alpine. The Alpine over the Sonnet behind her, a bit more sharp in the withers, although she maybe will grant a little bit to some of the, she will grant to the tremendous body capacity that we have in the doe behind her, but she in her turn is just a bit sounder in feet and pasterns today than we're finding in the Sonnet. And here again, the Sonnet in second from the end over the Sonnet at the end, for the advantage that she has in top line, both when at rest and on the move, and she is just a bit stronger in those rear pasterns too than the little doe at the end of the line, which I would like to commend for the tremendous size and the development we're seeing on her today.
Congratulations to Tate Linton for placing first in the class. He's representing Lucky Liberty Lopers. Second place goes to Cale Bailey, also of Lucky Liberty Lopers. And then receiving blues, Ashley Johnson of Grant Clever Clovers. Tate Linton of Lucky Liberty Lopers, Cale Bailey of Lucky Liberty Lopers, Hunter Norberg of Johnson Juniors, and Sarah Scotus of Lucky Liberty Lopers. Our third class is our doe kid, 6 months to under 12 months. In this class, we have Tate Linton, Natalie Vanderloo. This is first call for our fourth class, our doe kid, 12 months to under 24 months. Again, first call for class 4, doe kids, 12 months to under 24 months.
Okay, another nice class, the senior kids. We're starting the class with the La Mancha type doe. She just excels the rest of the class in the strength in feet and legs, the daring, openness and daringness, the width between the hocks. It carries up into the escutcheon. So to me, she's an easy top in this class. 2 over 3, those that are very similar. A little bit sounder in feet and legs in our second place doe, and so we're placing her over the little doe at the end. Thank you.
Congratulations to Tate Linton, placing first in our class of doe kids 6 months to under 12 months, and second place going to Natalie Vanderloo. Our next class is class 4, doe kids 12 months to under 24 months. In this class, we have Kale Bailey, Haley Copenhaver, Tate Linton, and Hunter Norberg. This is a reminder to exhibitors that you can sign up for the ribbon auction. You can do so just inside the beef barn with Candace. She'll take a picture of you and your animal. There are 2 options for you to have your picture taken. The first option is inside the beef barn there by that backdrop. There's also the backdrop over on the west side of the arena, that concrete one. We will put a picture of you and your animal and any ribbons and trophies on our auction website. That auction website is brockauctionco.com. We do also have a carved wooden bench in the beef barn that we'd like all exhibitors to sign, and we are auctioning that bench off again at brockauctionco.com. After this class, the judge will select his champion junior dairy goat. Again, after this class, the judge will select his champion junior dairy goat. So if we could have our previous class winners come out and be on deck for that, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, top to bottom, I would say this is probably the strongest class we've looked at yet today. There are some trade-offs all the way up and down the line. Some things that I really like about some of them, and some things that I'd like to change if we could. But anyway, this is the way we're going to place them today. I think the little doe at the head of the line is the most correct on feet and legs, strength of feet and legs, strength across that top line, especially when you watch her on the move. She's extremely level, tracks out true, wide between the hocks, tighter in the toes than what we have in the doe in second place. I like the size and scale that we're seeing on that big Saanen yearling. If I had to change anything about her, I'd like to have her a little bit tighter in the toes, especially those rear toes. But just the size and scale and the power that she shows, the levelness on the top line, the width of that rump, all make her a very desirable dairy animal. She over the Saanen in third, length of body, a bit stronger and straighter through that top line, especially when on the move, a little bit sharper in those shoulders than the Saanen in third. The Saanen in third over the Nigerian in fourth. She in her turn is just a bit more correct when you watch her on the move. Doesn't tend to tip those hocks in as you watch her walk away from you quite as much as the little doe in fourth. And the doe in fourth over the doe in fifth, in her turn stronger over that top line. The little Alpine, or the Alpine in last place, there's a lot of things I like about her, but she's just a bit willowy across that top line today, a little bit weaker in the chine than anything that we're seeing ahead of her. but still a very nice representative of the Alpine breed.
Did they all get blue ribbons? Yes. Okay, thank you. In our Doe Kid 12 months to under 24 months class, first place goes to Haley Copenhaver of Lucky Liberty Lopers. Congratulations. And second place goes to Hunter Norberg of Johnson Juniors. Receiving blues in the class include Cale Bailey, Tate Linton, and Hunter Norberg. If we could have our winners from our previous classes come back out, the judge is going to select his champion junior dairy goat now. So again, class winners, please come back out. The judge will select his champion junior dairy goat. After this drive, we will then move into our senior doe under 2 years. Second call for our fifth class, senior doe under 2 years in milk. Second call for our fifth class, senior doe under 2 years in milk.
Okay, let's give these first place winners from each of their classes a hand. Think that we have a very consistent lineup here as far as strength of feet and legs, strength across the top line, openness and dariness. So I think you could find reasons to go with any of these kids today for junior champion. When I watch them on the move, the two that to me are the strongest are the two kids in the middle of the ring. And then when I look at those, the advantage in the top line, I think, goes to our intermediate kid, the tan or brown La Mancha in second from my right, and she will be our junior champion today. Is there a second place animal for her? have to see the second place. To see the second place.
Sorry. I know, I was like, oh.
It may, but I want to see the second place animal from the intermediate class before we make that determination.
Got it.
You want to just pull her out because the second place animal will fit in there. Okay, now we're looking at the second place intermediate kid for our reserve champion. She's competing now with the other three class winners that are in the ring. I am going to move up to the senior kid. I think that she's smoother on that top line, a little more correct on that loin, in that loin area when you see her on the move, and for that, and she's more level in the rump. So for those advantages, we're going to go up here to the senior kid for the reserve junior champion.
Those are both Tates, correct? No. Oh.
The grand champion is Kale.
Okay. Thank you. Congratulations to our champion junior dairy goat, Kale Bailey of Lucky Liberty Lopers. That trophy is sponsored by the Peets family. And our reserve champion junior dairy goat goes to Tate Linton of Lucky Liberty Lopers. And that trophy was sponsored by the Eric Kabish family. We're going to move on into our fifth class. It's our senior doe under 2 years in milk. In this class, we have Hunter Norberg.
Okay, a very correct milking yearling. It's too bad that she doesn't have some competition because I'm sure that she can handle it. She's very correct. Beautiful mammary system on her. She's open-ribbed. Nice capacious udder for a yearling, showing evidence of good production. We're going to award her a blue ribbon and look forward to seeing her back in the championship lineup.
Congratulations to Hunter Norberg, first place in the senior doe under 2 years in milk. Hunter is representing the Johnson Juniors. And I did make a little mistake in the champion junior dairy goat division. Tate Linton received first and second place, champion and reserve. Congratulations. All right, moving on into our next class, our senior doe 2 years and under 3 years class. In this class, we have Ashley Johnson, Hunter Norberg, and Sarah Squotis. This is first call for our next class, senior does 3 years and under 5 years. First call for senior does 3 years and under 5 years. Second call for our senior doe 3 years and under 5 years class. Second call for senior does 3 years and under 5 years.
Okay, we have a nice class of milking 2-year-olds here. 1/2 for the advantage that she has in both the general appearance category and in the mammary system. And those, if you're familiar with the scorecard, those are the two highest, or the two areas with the most points. And so, to me, she rather handily comes to the top. She's smoother blended in that fore udder, higher and wider in that rear udder. She's stronger across the top line, in the area of the chine and in the area of the rump. A bit sounder on those feet and legs. So she's an easy pick for me to head this class. 2/3, a little bit closer placing. I like the evidence of higher production that we're seeing in the second place doe, although she will grant a bit to the shape of the mammary system. The little doe in third has a beautiful mammary system, just not as capacious as the animals ahead of her. I'd like to see just a bit more condition on her too. She's apparently a very, very hard-working doe and would like to see just a little bit more condition on her to take care of herself. 2 over 3, or 3 over 4 for the advantage she has in feet and legs, advantage in the mammary system. She's more correctly balanced. When you look at her both from the side and the rear, more evidence of a third, a third, a third. When you see her from the side end, she's a bit more square between the half, from one half to the other than our doe in fourth. I do like the dariness and strength in feet and legs that we're seeing in our fourth place doe.
In our class of senior does, 2 years and under 3 years, first place goes to Hunter Norberg, and second place also goes to Hunter Norberg. Congratulations. He's representing Johnson Juniors. Blue ribbons given to Ashley Johnson of Grant Clever Clovers and Sarah Squotus of Lucky Liberty Lopers. Our next class is senior does, 3 years and under 5 years. In our next class, we will have Kale Bailey, Haley Copenhaver, Ashley Johnson, Tate Linton, Hunter Norberg, and Sarah Squotus. This is first call for senior does 5 years and over. First call for senior does 5 years and over. Second call for senior doe 5 years and over. Second call for senior doe 5 years and over.
Okay, very nice class of 3 to 5-year-old does in milk. There's some trade-offs between our first and second placing, but I'm going to go with the doe that shows me a bit more substance throughout. She's as correct in feet and legs across the top line in the mammary system as the doe behind her, but there's just a bit more goat to the sonin in first place. A little bit more flushing. Not that that's terribly important in a dairy goat, but I like to have them, have a bit of cover on them, and so for those reasons, she's placing over the doe behind her. 2 over 3, a mammary placing. The mammary system is much more correct. It's more balanced. She is stronger too over the top line, especially in the area of the rump. 3 over 4, another close placing. I'm seeing a bit more fullness to the foreudder in the third place doe, although she will grant a bit in the smoothness over that loin, especially as she's standing there now. But just the fullness to that foreudder is giving her the edge over the doe in 4. 4 over 5, a doe with more bloom to the mammary system. Just showing evidence of more production. 5 over 6 for the advantage that she in turn has in the mammary system, as well as the more proper degree of fleshing, just a bit more smoothness into her. And she is more correct in the balance between the halves than our doe, hardworking doe, second from the end. And then the doe second from the end over the doe at the end of the line. Again, mammary, I like the sharpness and the withers of the doe in that's at the end of the line, but she just doesn't have the bloom to the mammary system today to move her ahead of any of the does farther up the line. Thank you.
Congratulations to Hunter Norberg for placing first in the Senior Doe 3 years and under 5 years division. He is representing Johnson Juniors. Second place goes to Cale Bailey of Lucky Liberty Lopers. Blues to Haley Copenhaver, Ashley Johnson, Tate Linton, and Sarah Squotus. Next up is our Senior Doe 5 years and over. In this class, we have Cale Bailey of Lucky Liberty Lopers. This is first call for our Dairy, Daughter, and Dam class. Our Dairy, Daughter, and Dam class, first call. Sorry about that. We're going to do the Champion Senior Dairy Goat before Dairy, Daughter, Dam. So Champion Senior Dairy Goat will be next.
Okay, another strong, productive entry in this age doe class. Just a single entry, but she's very correct. She's capacious in that mammary system, smooth across that top line. Easily is awarded a blue ribbon, and we look forward to seeing her in the championship lineup.
First place in the Senior Doe 5 years and over class goes to Kale Bailey of Lucky Liberty Lopers. And then we're going to bring out our winners from our previous classes. So if you have a winning animal from one of the previous classes, we're going to go ahead and select our champion senior dairy goat now. Our champion senior dairy goat is being selected at this moment. Well, maybe this moment was not the right word. But. This is first call for our dairy daughter dams, first call for our dairy daughter and dams.
Okay, this is the competition where we're looking for our senior champion, our grand champion, dairy doe in the senior division. I think we have 4 strong individuals out here. The La Manche at the head of the line, a very open angular doe showing evidence of good production. If there's anything I'd like to change about her, maybe smooth out that fore udder just a bit and have the rear udder be just a bit higher and wider than what it is, but I don't want to criticize her too much because she is obviously a very productive animal and deserves, being up there as our first place age doe. The 3 to 5 year old entry, again, a very correct animal. I love the level top line, the smoothness of blending in that fore and rear udder, teat shape and placement and delineation, strong on her feet and legs. If there's anything I'd like to change about her would be maybe to have her be a bit more productive. She's in the prime of her life, and I'd like to see a little bit more evidence of production there. Our 2-year-old, another nice individual. If I'd change anything about her, it would be giving her a bit more height and width in that rear udder. Her yearling, very correct. Beautiful mammary system on this doe. Right now she's not standing real well. She's a bit high-hipped. I'd like to maybe smooth out that top line a little bit on her, make her look just a bit smoother, both on the move and at rest. But I think when you can take all things into consideration, the animal that I think puts it together the most of the 4 here in competition is our 3 to 5 year old Sonnen, and she'll be the grand champion senior doe. Second place doe to her. right here. And then okay, we brought in our second place 3 to 5 year old. If you remember when we judged that class, it was a very close placing between her and the son, and that won it. So now when I compare her to the does still in the ring, I think it's for me it's an easy choice to go back to that same class and have our second place 3 to 5 year old be our reserve senior champion.
Congratulations to our grand champion, senior dairy goat, Hunter Norberg. That trophy is sponsored by Carol's Kitchen. And our reserve senior dairy goat goes to Cale Bailey. And that trophy is sponsored by 4D Farm and Norberg family. All right, we are going to bring out our dairy daughter and dams. So our next class is our dairy daughter and dam class. In this class, we have Cale Bailey, Haley Copenhaver, Tate Linton, Hunter Norberg, and Sarah Squotus.
Okay, I'm not going to have them rearrange. I'll just give you the placings and the reasons for them. We're going to start up here on my right. The biggest reason is that we have 2 functioning mammaries, and so we can see what that there's an improvement, I think, in the dam over the daughter. Obviously, she's not as mature, but I like what I see in the mammary on that yearling. We had a very correct mammary on the older doe on the dam, but what's coming on the yearling, I think, looks like it's going to be even better, and so for that reason, they're going to start our class. We're going to keep going right down the row. Our second place group is right here. We have a very high placing, our champion kid. We don't have the functioning mammary, but the general appearance is as strong or stronger than what we're seeing in the dam. and so we're going there for second. We're going to keep going down. The middle group is going to be our third place group. Here again, just a junior kid or a kid that obviously hasn't freshened yet, but very strong in general appearance. And we're hoping that the mammary system that she gets when she freshens will be at least as good as the dams. And then we're going to make a flip-flop. I think I see a stronger pair down here. General appearance and dariness in our dry yearling Nigerian, I think, is stronger than what we have in the Tog kid. Plus, we have a more balanced mammary system in the dam down here in the group way on the end, and so they will be our fourth place. And then nice productive doe with a kid with a straight top line will be the what ends our class. But here again, nothing wrong with being down toward the end of the line when the competition ahead of you is that strong. So thanks for bringing them out.
Congratulations to Hunter Norberg of Johnson Juniors with the first place daughter dam pair. Second place goes to Tate Linton of Lucky Liberty Lopers. And then receiving blues, Kale Bailey, Haley Copenhaver, and Sarah Squotis. Our last class is the Exotic and Fancy Goat class. In this class, we have 2 entries, Haley Copenhaver and Natalie Vanderloo. After the Fancy Goats, we will do showmanship, starting with senior showmanship. Those are individuals in grades 10 through 12. After senior showmanship, we will do intermediate showmanship, exhibitors in grades 7 through 9. And then lastly, we will end with junior showmanship, individuals in grades 4 through 6. First call for senior showmanship, exhibitors in grades 10 through 12. First call for senior showmanship, exhibitors in grades 10 through 12. Second call for senior showmanship, second call for senior showmanship.
Okay, we have 2 entries in the exotic division, I guess they call it. It's not the dairy goats. There are some things that are, to me, that are universal in livestock, whether you're judging dairy goats or any other species. And so those are the things I looked at in judging this class, and that's soundness of feet and legs. Obviously, if they're aren't sound in the feet and legs, they're not going to be as mobile, not get up and go to the feeder and eat and take care of themselves as well. And so that's one thing I looked at. Also looked at the strength in the top line, and then the development in relation to their age. And I think we have a handy top here in the kid at the head of the line. She is considerably older, and that's giving her advantage just in conditioning and everything, but she is also sounder in feet and legs and stronger in that top line than the little doe behind her. That's a very young kid to be competing with a January kid. So congratulations to both of you, and thanks for bringing them in the ring.
Your champion, grand champion, exotic and fancy goat is Haley Copenhaver of Lucky Liberty Lopers. That trophy is sponsored by Robert Kabish Jr. family. And your reserve champion, exotic and fancy goat is Natalie Vanderloo of Grant Clever Clovers. That trophy is also sponsored by Robert Kabish Jr. family. We're going to move into showmanship next, starting with the seniors. So senior showmanship, exhibitors in grades 10 through 12, you may enter the ring. Exhibitors, before you head out today, please make sure that you sign up for the ribbon auction. The ribbon auction sign up is located just inside the beef barn. That ribbon auction will take place at brockauctionco.com. We'll have your picture taken with your animal and any ribbons and trophies you would like in the photo. And then lastly, there is that wood carved bench in the beef barn. Please make sure you sign that as well. First call for intermediate showmanship, individuals in grades 7 through 9. First call for intermediate showmanship, individuals in 7 through 9.
Okay, a young man here that I think needs to have some recognition, some applause for coming out to for showmanship. There should be others competing with him. I asked him a few questions on the care of his animal. He's got her beautifully groomed and conditioned. The condition of the animal herself is nearly ideal. I asked him about her care. He knew how he, it's his project. He's the one caring for her, I could tell, by the answers that he gave me. I also asked him what he liked about her, what he thought her strong points were, and what he thought her weaknesses were, what he would like to change. And not only in this class, but we had a small group of exhibitors today, and so I also observed him in the individual classes, and he was a young man that always had his animal in position, followed directions, had his animal set up to look their best, and so a very good showman, one that would probably be on top even if he had some competition, and I think that we should give him another round of applause for coming out today.
Congratulations to Tate Linton, your champion senior showman. That trophy is sponsored by 4D Farm and Norberg family, as well as John and Lori Ruland. Next up, we have our champion intermediate showmanship. These are exhibitors in grades 7 through 9. Our intermediate showmanship, you may enter the ring. And this is first call for junior showmanship, exhibitors in 4 through 6. First call for junior showmanship, exhibitors in 4 through 6. Second call for junior showmanship, exhibitors in grades 4 through 6.
Okay, once again, let's give these 3 young people a hand for participating in our showmanship, intermediate showmanship class today. There were some trade-offs in how I would place this class too. Each of the exhibitors did some good things and also did some things that I'd like to have them do differently. The ring. One thing, a couple of them, for maximum control of the animal, you need to keep that chain up in the throat at all times. Cut a couple of them with the chain down lower to the chest, which relinquishes some of the control that you should have over your animal. I asked them about the feed and care of their animals. They all pretty much knew what was going on there. Also asked them to size up their animal, because I think in showmanship you need to know the strengths and weaknesses of your animal before you come in the ring, and show accordingly to accentuate the positive and kind of cover up that negative if you can. And so I got some pretty good answers there. I think that for the consistency and giving me reasonable answers and maximizing control of her animal, we're going to go with the young lady on the far end as our champion intermediate showman today. Oh, you need a reserve?
I do.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
you didn't tell me that. Okay, now they tell me that we need a reserve intermediate showman in this class too. I thought my job was done when I picked the top one, and then they did that to me. I think I'm going to go with the young man on the end for keeping the doe more squarely set in a consistent manner in the ring. The little Tog kid is a beautiful kid, but I'd like to have those rear legs just positioned forward and the front legs a bit more under her to make her look a bit better. And for that slight edge and having this doe more correctly set most of the time, we're going to go here for our intermediate or for reserve intermediate showman. But thanks to all of you for coming out and participating.
Congratulations to your grand champion intermediate showman, Haley Copenhaver, and your reserve champion intermediate showman, Cale Bailey. Those trophies were sponsored by Steve and Tanya Remenschneider and Ann Shanerock. Now we have our junior showmanship. These are individuals in grades 4 through 6. Again, exhibitors, please don't forget to sign up for the ribbon auction, and you can do so just inside the beef barn. Please do not forget to do that. That ribbon auction will be available on brockauctionco.com.
Okay, once again, thanks to these two youngsters for coming out and competing in the junior showmanship. Let's give them a hand. Again, I asked them some of the same questions that I asked in the first two classes, wanting to make sure that it was their project, wanted to know about the ration that they fed their animals, how they cared for them, asked for strong and weak points. I think we have a little bit of a disparity here in that the kid with no attention span is a bigger challenge to show than the very contented old doe that just is content to stand in position and chew her cud. So, but both of them did a very commendable job. I don't want to say for sure that the older doe was in position quicker because it was just hard to get her out of position. But from what I was seeing today, and again here, I think the slight edge goes to the young man showing the milker, and he will be our junior champion showman. Again, thanks to both of you for coming out.
Congratulations to Hunter Norberg, your champion junior showman. That trophy was sponsored by Robert Kabich Jr. Family. Can we please give our judge, Rod Van Wyk, one more huge round of applause? Thank you for being here today, Rod. We really appreciate it. And then one more round of applause, quick, for our superintendent, Dustin Norberg, his assistant, Curtis Hoffman, the lovely ladies to my right with the ribbons and trophies, and the extension staff. Thanks, everybody.